What's up, everybody? I am finally doing this video. As you will see as I go through the slides, I've been working on this for over a year. Just as kind of people pop into my mind, I'll add them to the thing. And I was waiting until I finally had like a full roster of people. So I have one for every cabin. But this is what cabin would these famous / internet people be in if they were half-bloods at Camp Half-Blood of Percy Jackson fame. Now, before we get started, want to do some disclaimers. Very mild spoilers for the end of Percy Jackson and very beginning of Heroes of Olympus. So just be warned. No like character spoilers, just some stuff about camp. Also, this is all in good fun. No offense to anyone. No disrespect to anyone's like religion or anything. This is just all in good fun. Also, just slight, not disclaimer, but this list does trend to be more positive. Like, these are fun people. There are a couple villains on here, arguably. I do think maybe it does skew a little bit too positive, but it's not like Harry Potter where you have a whole Slytherin where it's like, yeah, Aries kids are kind of rude, but like, you know, whatever. So there's not a ton of villains on this. But yeah, let's get into it. Now, Lucy Dacus, my favorite singer of all time. She's the whole reason I even thought to start this video, because I was just driving down the road listening to her songs, probably First Time, which is my favorite song of hers. And I was just like, she's like blessed by the gods. Like, there's no way her lyricism, her voice, her music writing, like there's no way, like she's just so amazing. And I thought she has to be Apollo Cabin, the god of music. Like, there's literally no way, unless she is like divinely touched and inspired, that she just sounds that amazing. No way. So yeah, we got Lucy in the Apollo Cabin. Next we have Adam Savage and Jamie Hyneman. I was big into Mythbusters as a kid, and then I think, you know, we all kind of fell off a little bit because it ended. But YouTube randomly started recommending me Adam Savage's Tested videos on my like algorithm, and I highly recommend his channel. He gives a lot of good career and life advice. Highly recommend. But I got back into watching Mythbusters, still as good as it was back then, and I thought they would be great because I think people might think this is obvious, but I don't think it's obvious. So obviously Jamie's in Hephaestus' cabin, like that is a given. But I think you would also think like, oh, Adam would also be in Hephaestus, but I don't think he is. I think he would be in the Athena cabin, because while he does have the technical and like engineering knowledge that Jamie has, he has an extra like je ne sais quoi or whatever that like just takes him, you know, like over the edge into the Athena cabin. Not that I'm biased or anything, you know, that I have a whole tattoo sleeve like about being in the Athena cabin or anything, or being cabin 6, but I just think he's in the Athena cabin. I also think that it's like, not that people in two different cabins can't get along, but like famously they are not friends, and I feel like if they were in the same cabin, I mean, siblings cannot get along, but like I feel like they would mesh better if they were in the same cabin. So it makes sense to me that they are very similar but not exactly the same. So that's why I have them in two different cabins. Now Stevie Nicks. Stevie Nicks is next. And I picked her because, and if you recognize the screenshot that this, or the video that this screenshot is from, you might already know where this is going. But earlier this year, even though the article, I think it was a Rolling Stone article, it came out a couple years ago, but this like little clip of it was going around, and it was a line where she talked about how there are no men allowed in her backyard, and how she's like always surrounded by a group of young women. And the author made the comment that like men don't look at Stevie Nicks unless Stevie Nicks wants to be looked at by a man. And when that's going around, there are all these comments like, oh, Stevie Nicks is Artemis, whatever. But like, Stevie Nicks has had plenty of male lovers. Like, she can't be Artemis. But if you know the video that this is from the 1997 live performance of Silver Springs, which is a song that she wrote about Lindsey Buckingham, who was the lead, main dude from Fleetwood Mac. And it was originally left off of Rumors. It was originally left off of Rumors. And And it was Silver Springs was released as the B-side of Go Your Own Way, which she hated Go Your Own Way because Lindsey Buckingham wrote that song about her, and she felt like it wasn't a good representation of their relationship. So it wasn't a very well-known song, but it was performed live at this 1997 performance of Fleetwood Mac. And at the end of the song, she looks into his eyes and just gives it to him. And like, she's hexing him on stage. And like, one of my favorite comments of all time is the comment on that video. And it's like, I've never seen a man play lead guitar at his own funeral before. And like, that's literally what you're watching. And so there's this whole like legend that she's hexing him on stage. So that is why we are putting her in the Hecate cabin. Like, the magic and just everything in that live performance tells me all that I need to know, and she is in that cabin. Next, we have Nile Red. Nile Red is a science YouTuber. He does chemistry videos. They're amazing. He'll do like a 45-minute video of like turning rubber gloves into grape soda. He took the caffeine out of Red Bull because he likes the taste. He makes like carcinogenic chemicals in his parents' garage just because he wants to see if he can. And I put him in the Hermes cabin because he has several videos trying to make the stinkiest chemical known to man. Like, he's made multiple videos about like military grade stink. And I could totally just see him being in the Hermes cabin, just cooking that weird shit up. And just, he has this mischievous little glint in his eye when he makes this stuff. And he's just a little agent of chaos. And I love him so much. And I highly recommend his videos. I don't understand any of the chemistry, but they are so fun to watch. So yeah, he would be in the Hermes cabin. Okay, now we have some Olympians. I've been working on this video so long, the Olympics came and went. But we have some Olympians. We have Katie Ledecky, Oksana Chusovitina, and Simone Biles. Needs no introduction. We'll start with Katie. She's Poseidon. She's like the greatest female swimmer of all time. She got like 3 gold medals, I think, this Olympics. It's a little bit on the nose, but whatever. Simone Biles, like, she is the GOAT of gymnastics. Like, she has 50 bajillion trillion medals from the Olympics. Like, of course this is where she's going. Now, the interesting one that I think might be controversial is Oksana. You might have seen the video of her. It's like a compilation that goes around. I tried to embed it in this video, but for some reason, like, the owner of that account has the embed turned off. But she has been in 8 different Olympics, which is insane. But she's a gymnast, which, I mean, all Olympic sports are hard on your body. But, like, to be a gymnast for 8 years, which is, like, almost, or 8 Olympics, which is, like, 32 years. I don't know if they're all consecutive. I think she might have taken one off or something. But, like, that's a long time. And to be able to be a gymnast and have that type of, like, flexibility, because, like, as we age, like, we're not as flexible. That's why old people are, like, falling all the time, breaking hips, like, to have that flexibility and ability for 8 Olympics is insane. So I put her in the Hebe cabin. And if I'm butchering any of these, sorry. I put her there because, like, she has to have some crazy youthfulness to her muscles and stuff. Yeah, it's insane. So I put her there because that's the only thing that makes sense to me. Okay, now we have some more musicians. We have Chapel Roan and we have Azalea Banks. Chapel Roan, I feel like she could have gotten a couple of these, but I did put her in Dionysus because one, her identifying as a drag queen, I feel is very Dionysus, but also, like, a lot of her songs are like about getting high and getting drunk and just that, like, debauchery, element of Dionysus, like the Bacchanalia, that's Bacchus, whatever. So, yeah, I put her in Dionysus. I thought that fit. Now, Azalea Banks, I initially put her on here to fill out a specific cabin that I didn't have anyone for. But after last night, or night before last, I was thinking she might actually be good for the Apollo cabin for similar reasons. But I put her in the Aries cabin. And that might be kind of obvious because she is always fighting with people. But I later thought she might be good for the Apollo cabin because some of the things she said, like the insults that she lobs at people, are so poetic and just beautifully constructed that I think she could also be a very good contender for the Apollo cabin, but I did ultimately put her in the Aries cabin because she just is fighting with everyone all the time. Okay, now Katya. I did originally also have Trixie on here. Sorry, Trixie, but I had to take you off because I was just doing one person per cabin. But if you want to know, I would have put you in the Aphrodite cabin. But we have Katya. If you don't watch The Bald and the Beautiful, Drag Race, any of the stuff, Katya is just amazing. I don't know how to describe her. She's an experience. But I put her in the Hades cabin. She's just this dark little queen, and I love her. And she's more beautiful and hotter than I will ever be, and that's just something I have to live with. Okay, don't come for me for this one. Winston Churchill needs no introduction. Really struggled for this cabin, and then I was like, celebrities with narcolepsy. Hypnos cabin, Winston Churchill had narcolepsy. I did originally have Jinx Monsoon for this, but I don't know, that felt kind of rude to be like, I don't know, that just felt rude. So I put Winston Churchill. He's dead. Don't think he cares. But yeah, he had narcolepsy. Now, Kim K. This one was a late addition. I had her on a completely different slide, which you will see at the end. But this is where the villain part comes in, which I don't know. I'm not super, super well knowledgeable about, like, World War II history in the UK, but like, I don't know, maybe Winston Churchill could be a villain. I think we generally like him. I don't know. Anyway, Kim K is the first like villain, you know? And I originally had her on a different side, but right as I was about to record this, it dawned on me that, you know, it's not all sunshine and lollipops and roses. Like, we gotta look at the bad side sometimes of some of these. And that's why I think she would be in Aphrodite's cabin, because she is the epitome of like the bad side, like the vanity, the like cosmetic procedures, like the crazy love life and stuff. So yeah, I put her in Aphrodite's cabin, and I'm sticking with that. I feel good about that selection. This is a TikTok couple, or I watch them on Instagram anyway. Darcy and Jer. Sorry, and again, I'm 99% sure this is Darcy. Sorry, Jer. I don't have a cabin for you, but I just needed the context for Darcy. Again, struggling to fit this one, like struggling to find someone for this cabin. He's not super famous, but if you know him, he's all about plants. We put him in the Demeter cabin. He also smokes a lot of weed, which supports my headcanon that the Demeter cabin would grow the best weed, and then they would have this deal with Hermes to like sell it. So it helps my headcanon that Demeter would grow amazing weed. Okay, the queen. This picture might give it away. Again, depending on your opinion, maybe a villain. Put her in the Iris cabin. Girl loved rainbows. She wore every color there was, so we're putting her in the Iris cabin. Okay, Sarah Paulson. American Horror Story, a bunch of other stuff, famous actress. I know this might be controversial, okay? This might be controversial, and I'm prepared to take the flack for it. I put her in the Artemis cabin. Now, I know canonically the Hunters of Artemis gotta be ace, but there's not a ton of asexual representation out there. And I know she's been in a committed relationship with, I want to say her name's Blanche, but I don't think that's right. Blythe something. I know she's been in a committed relationship with her for probably almost 10 years at this point. But the reason I put her in there was because of that video where she's talking to the other actress, and the other actress is talking about how she was like physically like turned on when this man walked into her room, and Sarah Paulson makes this face and she's like, you keep that to yourself. I don't need to know that. So that's why I put her in the Artemis cabin, because I just thought that was really funny. And who knows? Maybe she could join later. Probably not, because she's not like a 12-year-old girl. But, you know. Anyway. Okay, Bill Morgan. This one is interesting. If you don't know who this is, he won the lottery twice. Like, he won the lottery, and then the news was doing a story on him. So then he bought a ticket on air, and then he won the lottery on air. And I thought that was it. But I was reading his Wikipedia page, and he, like, was in a car accident at like age 37, and he was like pronounced dead, and he was on life support, and his family like took him off life support, and then he just like woke up and was fine. So like he's like crazy lucky and fortunate. So we'll put him in the Tai again, I don't know how to pronounce this. Tai Chi. Yeah, we put him there because that's a lucky son of a bitch. Burt Reynolds. This one, we're kind of rounding out the map here, so you might know where this is going. I was trying to look up, I was like Googling like celebrities that are known to be blank. And I found this story about Burt Reynolds. Apparently the National Enquirer posted a story about him that he did not like, which I'm blanking on what the topic was, but it was something that he didn't like. So allegedly he took his like private plane or helicopter and got all of the horse shit out of his stables and then dropped it on the National Enquirer's Christmas tree. Don't know if that's actually true or not, but that was a crazy story. So we put him in the Nemesis, Goddess of Revenge cabin. Now, finally, Barack Obama. He was a super late ad because I recorded this video once already, like 2 days ago, but I fucked it up, so I had to record it anyway. And I realized I didn't have anyone for this cabin, and it was, like, kind of glaringly obvious. So we put him in Zeus cabin because, I don't know, he was the president. He just gives Zeus energy. So, yeah, Barack Obama would be Zeus cabin. Final roundup. So we got all of them together. Obviously, we don't have anyone for Hera because unless there's some spoilers later in Trials of Apollo that I'm unaware of, Hera has kept that shit locked down and has no babies. So yeah, this seems like a fun group. Obviously, not all of them are alive at the same time, but I would be hanging out in the Athena cabin with Adam. But I would like love to have like campfire sing-alongs with Lucy and then like just smoking weed with Darcy and like Chapel Roan dancing and stuff and Katya being hilarious and like, oh my god, it would just be so fun. This would be a great group. Anyway. Okay, bonus. People who would lie about being demigods. I only have 2 of them because I originally did have Kim K in this category, but then I bumped her to Aphrodite at the last minute. Only 2 right now, but please let me know if you can think of any. Also, Bianca Kiso boyfriend, not counted. They're the one that drew this map, so shout out to them. I think Drake and Elon would totally lie about being demigods just to get like street cred. Like, but there's, you see, they're on the outside because regular human, for the uninitiated, regular humans can't get into the magical borders of Camp Half-Blood. Like, they're physically stopped, or like they just can't see it, you know, unless they can see through the mist. So they would just be hanging out outside because they wouldn't be able to get inside. I feel more confident about the Elon one because obviously, but yeah, if there's any other people that you think would lie about being a demigod, who are they? And if you can think of what specific parent they would lie about having, that would also be really funny. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'm kind of delirious and numb because of current events, but I had the house to myself and I finally wanted to record this video. So thank you and have a good night.